It's nearing springtime here in the Adirondack Mountains of New York. You wouldn't know it from the ice that's still on the lake, though. Captain Matt and Jude are at a friend's cabin, where they set him up with a large bin of European Nightcrawlers about a year ago. Everyone's been grabbing worms from the bin for fishing, and it's time to check in on the worm population and start fattening up some adult worms for the fishing season. Let's catch up with Captain Matt and Jude in the basement of the cabin.
Hey there, worm people. Captain Matt and Jude here today, and we are revisiting a buddy's camp, and they have this beautiful lake down the hill a little bit, and we came up with the idea. You know, they do a lot of fishing here, and so I thought, man, maybe it'd be a good idea if we set up a place for worms right here at the camp that are always here when they come for fishing. And so we decided to use European Nightcrawlers. And so we had the fella build this box. He's a good carpenter, and he built this box. And the worms, oh, look at them moving all around here on top of the sheet there. And the worms have been in this box now for just about a year. And these guys fish. They're always digging down into the worms and taking them out for going fishing. And but today, the worms have sat here now over the winter. We're up in the Adirondack Mountains, and they've sat around and they've been fed all during the winter. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get them ready we're gonna get them nice and plump. And so today we're gonna share with you how Jude and I fatten up Euros. And we're gonna give you a private recipe, and I'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes. We started that box with about 1,000 worms. I weighed them out and we put 1,000 worms in there. Now, they fished a lot all last season, probably right through October. And then they were brought inside because they were outside, and it was built with a bottom on it and a screen, so moisture went through. It was really designed well. So we haven't they've been fed. Whenever these folks come up to their camp, they come down and they feed the worms. So they've been fed over the winter, but we're gonna sift some worms, and we just went in for a clawful, and what we found is a ball of worms. But the majority of the ball of worms were little babies that have just recently hatched. So here we go. We're going to put it in, and Jude's going to pour it in and then start shaking. And a lot of the babies are so small. Luke, can you get in there and look at the movement in here? I mean, that is phenomenal. Little babies all over the place. Wow. So let's see, it might be a little wet. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to sift well, but I think oh, there we go. We're sifting nicely. Nice. Great job, Jude. Great job. Woo, look at that. Hey, look at this Turbo Shift Go. This is a Turbo Shift from Worm Gear. And we have different screens, so we just went to a full 1/4-inch screen, I believe it is. And what a great sifter. It's really, and it fits perfectly right over masonry mortar tub that you can pick up at Lowe's. Just highly recommend this sifter. Okay, what do we got there? Look at that. Look at this. Some of these worms, some of them are nice size and fattened up. They have some real body to them. That's amazing. Wow. No, we double that. Okay. Let's double that because put these in here? Yeah, put them in. All right. So Jude is now just dumping those in. There's a lot of first of all, the bedding and the castings are pretty wet, and second of all, we've got some pretty good sized chunks here. So we're not sifting them right down to bare worms, but we're going to do it again. And then we're going to take these and we're going to show you, I'm going to share with you something that I've never shared before. One of my mentors, because I've had a number of mentors, shared with me, and we're going to share with you the recipe he gave me to fatten up Euros. Okay, let's sift a little more first there, Jude. Yeah, you want me to do any? Just let me know if you're tired. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Look at that. they sat all winter. Oh my goodness. That's almost ready for a hook, that guy. We got,
That one definitely is.
let's see, yeah, good size.
Oh, look at that one.
Really nice size. Oh my goodness. And evidently they were very busy this winter because for every good size euro here, we've got a whole bunch of babies too. Yep, there we go. Yep, okay.
Here, but look at all these baby worms.
Oh my goodness, look at these. Luke, can you come closer and you see those? They're all size. There's some of these in here may have hatched today. That's something. So the babies will go back. We'll pull out any good size. And then we're gonna take this tub and then one other tub. We're gonna add cardboard to it, and we'll probably add a little more compost. There's some babies in it, there's some adults, but we're just gonna start feeding these and get them ready for the hook. Right now we have ice on the pond, but that ice is gonna melt soon and we'll get them ready for the hook. And I'll tell you, these guys are gonna be amazed at what they have, at what they developed with so little time raising these worms. And the funny thing is, they used to go to the gas station downtown and get themselves a cup of worms, and that cup is now up to $5 for I think 12 worms, but now they have thousands of worms in here, in that bin over there. This is just a few scoops. There's so many more over there. It's phenomenal. But that's worming. You know, that's how I got into worming, is simply because I bought 1,000 worms, and all of a sudden I had 2,000 or 3,000. And okay, so Jude, so now we've got. Normally what I would do is I would put about 500 worms in each one of these bins, 500 adult worms. But when we got here, what we found is thousands and thousands of babies. I mean, balls and balls of babies in the one bin. And so we started sifting, and we pulled out a lot of larger worms that are somewhat mature, but we have a lot of young in with it too, which is normally not the case. When I'm fattening worms, I want mature worms. If I'm fattening them, especially for fishing, I want them to be mature. Sometimes I fatten worms before I sell them too, and that's a lighter fattening. I'm not going to work hard, but we're gonna, as my mentor said, he said, we're gonna turn these worms into hogs. They're gonna eat like hogs is what they're gonna do, and we'll have babies in with the adults this time, and we're gonna really see what happens. We know with the recipe we're about to give them that they're going to get big and fat. Now, the first thing we're going to do is let's split that cardboard up, Jude, and we'll put half the cardboard in one, half in the other, and we'll mix it all up. Cardboard that was inoculated with some castings, and I want to tell you something. After 4 weeks, this stuff is turned into worm castings. But that's where we're starting. We've dampened it down. You don't have to soak it overnight here because the water gets right into the cardboard. And so we're going to use it right away. And also, our bedding has some real dampness to it too. We're probably at about 85 to 90% moisture. So, all right, Jude, you take that one, I'll take this one. Hey, you got more cardboard than I did.
I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, there we go. And let's just, we'll just mix it all up and get these guys ready. And they are going to enjoy this because what they've come from to where they are now, there's a lot of aeration going on, and they're going to enjoy that. That's going to help with the growth also. Just keep mixing these guys up.
Watch off.
They're going to be a little dizzy till we're done.
Do worms get dizzy?
I don't know if they do. I get dizzy sometimes. All right, so we'll smooth it out. Now, here's the recipe, okay? This is a recipe that I was given for fattening up worms, especially for fattening up euros. My buddy was a euro grower. He owned a bait store, and he would raise worms until they were mature. And in the springtime, he had bin after bin after bin after bin after bin that he was fattening, and then he would sell them to the fishermen. So what we're going to do is this, and this is going to happen. We're not going to put a whole bunch in all at once, but you're just going to start passing over some of the ingredients to us my buddy told me this. He said, if you want to fatten up worms, here is your recipe right here. He said, don't forget coffee. And the reason is there's enough caffeine in this coffee here to get the worms really excited again. And he said, this is what makes hogs out of them, because they eat so much coffee, they get really moving, and then they just eat. But we're going to give them something on top of that. We're going to give them some granular molasses. Now, we don't hear a lot about granular molasses, but we're going to sprinkle some of that on top. If you put too much molasses in, you could kill some of them. Some of the younger ones may have a difficult time with this. Maybe my buddy will be able to come down here every 3 days and give them a sprinkle of this stuff again. The next thing is alfalfa. And we buy alfalfa in pellets. This size, some of you know what I'm talking about. In the forum, we were talking about it recently about alfalfa pellets. And I put this in just a coffee grinder. But most of this is a powder. But I want you to know something. We talked about this in the forum. How do we get the pellets broken down? You don't always have to. You have enough moisture in your bedding that if you lay the pellet down, the pellet is going to draw moisture out of the bedding, and the pellet's going to fall apart, and then the worms are going to decimate it. This friend of mine told me this. He said, when you want to fatten a horse, you feed it alfalfa. And he said, guess what? When you want to fatten up a worm, you feed it alfalfa. And of course, horses love molasses also. And then the fourth item is some chicken crumbles. I broke this up a little bit also, put it through the blender. I didn't powder it. I didn't want it to be powder. Again, we're going to give it a final spray, and it all just breaks down. The worms will go crazy over it. Okay, so we're all set here. Now we're going to feed. So because we're feeding, we're going to just give it a good sprinkle is all we're doing, because we're going to do this maybe every 3rd day, and you don't want too much in there. So we just give them some of the chicken feed. This one has got a few other things in it, but that's fine. And good. All right, so enough of that. And then the next thing we'll put in is a little molasses. Now again, you have to figure this out. But when I use molasses, I'll break it down for a bin. I'll take a good sized pinch like that of molasses. Now we're looking at 500 some odd worms in a bin this size. So I'm just sprinkling that little bit over the top, and I'm going to do it over here again because it's crystallized. It's crystallized and it's pretty potent. So same thing, I'm using a handful and just going to sprinkle it all over the top here. And after 3 or 4 days, that molasses will be gone, and then we'll do it again. So now we're going to take some alfalfa dust, and same thing with alfalfa. You don't want to feed them too much. So I'm just going to sprinkle. We got a few pellets there, but we're just going to sprinkle a nice dusting on the top of alfalfa also, and then we'll coffee. All right, this is what makes them hogs, and we're giving them enough stuff to hog into. They can really eat up the molasses and the alfalfa and the chicken feed. So it's good. It's also a nitrogen source here. Okay, and this stuff sat around for 4 or 5 days before we put it in. That's the recipe. Now what we're going to do, because we don't know about how much grit we have in here, let's we'll add a little sand. This is playground sand. All right, so it's a fine sand, and you can't put too much sand in, guys. I like to put it in this is going to be fed probably every 3 days, every 4 days, we're going to watch and see how they eat it. And I like to put a little sand in every time. But when it comes to Urals are extremely sensitive to acidic. Okay, but if you raise the acidity too high or raise the pH too high, then you can become too alkaline, and that can hurt them too. So we're going to take a little of the, this is lawn agricultural lime, very inexpensive, 50 pounds, $5. And I just give them a little bit every time, okay? Now, it won't hurt them, but I just don't want to overdo it. So give them a spray there, put that on. And what do we have left, Jude?
We have beet.
Okay, some beet greens, some beets. And so these are beet skins, and again, I took the beet skins, and let me show you, and we put them in the coffee grinder and ground them up also. And so we'll just give it another source of some nitrogen here, and just give them a little bit here, and we are done. We are fed, and we are, because our moisture level, especially with the cardboard now, we dried up a little bit, we can afford to spray. And I like to spray afterwards because I like to get everything moist. Let me just give a little pump here. Okay, and so we'll just spray. Remember, if you do not want to use chlorinated water, let your water sit for at least a day if you have chlorine in it. And sometimes it never hurts to put a little vitamin C, some ascorbic acid in your water, which will help neutralize the chlorine and the chloramine that can be in chlorinated water. So the reason for the spray now is just to get everything in there so it's moist, it helps it break down a little bit, and gets it ready for the worms. But that's how we do it. And then what we want to do is we want to always cover. I like 2 covers, and I'm the only person I know that does this. But we use bubble wrap, and I turn the bubble wrap bubbles down, and that's only so that if you put plastic on and the plastic happens to seal, you could deprive the worms of oxygen. So the bubble wrap helps you there. And I like to give them a little darkness also. So I put that on top. That is not necessary, but I do it. I've always done it, and it's one of those things. It's really a gut feeling from me, by me. And so now we're ready to put these aside and come back in 3 or 4 days and watch and see what they've eaten. What do you think? You think they'll have eaten all that food?
Yeah.
I think so too, because they've been hanging out in this winter weather, and I don't know if they ate that much, but the sun is high, and the worms are starting to wiggle a little more than they did in the dead of winter. So we'll come back. I think we're going to see that they ate all of that, and then we'll keep up that regimen. This mentor buddy of mine asked him, I said, how long can I feed them like that without killing them? And he said, you won't kill them. He said, just keep feeding them. Don't overfeed. Don't give them too much molasses. But he said, you can keep that thing up until the day that you sell them, and you'll make hogs out of them, and you'll make some really, really fat euros. Some of you know what a Canadian nightcrawler looks like when you go buy them for fishing. They're fat, and they're not the longest things, but they're fat. And we're going to see our euros get at least that fat and even fatter. So, you know, my mentor, I promised him I would never use his name. He said I could share anything, but he said, just don't mention my name. And so we've always honored that. But, you know, without this friend of mine opening up to me and becoming my mentor, I really would not have learned how to fatten up euros. I wouldn't have even thought of fattening them up as much as I have fattened them up in the past and as we're going to do today. But I am so grateful that he called me one day. He had seen some of our videos and he called me. He just became my mentor. I mean, he had been fattening and selling worms for 30 some odd years, and he was giving me some real knowledge. I'm so grateful for the mentors in my life. And it's so important to me to have had mentors, but now to be a mentor. And you know, the greatest place to find a mentor is in the forum. And you know what? They're there because they want to help you. Pay it forward. Go ahead and be a mentor for some other people. You say, I don't know all that much. Well, if you're raising worms and you've kept them alive for 6 months, my friend, you have lots to share with new people because you've already passed the biggest test of all, and that is you've raised them. Now, I killed a bunch when I started. You don't have to do that. But once you've raised some worms, you have lots to share with people. With the backup of the forum, my, one-on-one. This is a people thing. That's what Worm People is all about. We're all about people. We're not into it for money. We're not selling products. We're being mentored, and we're learning to mentor. And that may be about the most valuable thing that I have, Worm People have given to me.
So we also have a mentor matchup program
That's right.
in the Worm People community. Captain Matt's a mentor in there. We got a lot of other experienced worm farmers in there too. So once you're in the community, you can sign up for a mentor matchup program. And like once a month, you'll be able to talk to another wormer about your experiences and how you can improve.
And some of the best relationships in Worm People came out of that mentor program.
You can check it out at wormpeople.com, and you'll be able to find the community, the worm farm directory.
Yes, yes.
It's also cool. And
Yes.
then a bunch of other resources.
How many people on the Worm Farm directory right now?
We probably
Yeah.
have like at least 40.
One of our goals with wormpeople.com is to see 1,000 worm farmers in the directory and 100 teachers. And that's right now, that's numbers that are on my heart. And I'm watching that happen. I'm watching that grow. And I am so glad that you have become part of that. All right, Worm People, that's it for today. And for Jude and myself signing out, God bless you. See you real soon.
Subscribe now, and then head over to wormpeople.com to jumpstart your worm farming journey.